Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Ellarie here. Okay, so I've been a little busy trying to move and work that there's a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to try out that I haven't been able to try out. So before I pack it up, I just thought I'd put some stuff to the side and do a little toot with them. This is pretty much going to be a first impressions video because not all this stuff is new. Some of it, actually all of it is probably kind of old. I've just never used them before, so yeah, my first impression. Before we get started with this video, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel because that's it's just a nice thing to do. And you guys can follow me here as well. And once you do that, we shall begin. Okay, so I'm doing the eyes first because I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Matter of fact, I might do this eye without y'all because I really just have some stuff out here that I'm just gonna, you know, play with. I think I'm gonna try out these two Huda Beauty palettes in Ruby and Amethyst. I think I've tried the Topaz one, but I really liked it. And I wanted to give all of them a try to see if I like them all. But these so far are a hit for me. And I might play with some Dazzle Shadow and things or whatnot. Well, let me just see what I can think of real quick. Okay, the jury is still out on this look. Having a bad blending day. I'm gonna try to fix it in a little bit. For now, we're just gonna move on. I feel like I haven't done a dramatic look like this in a long time, and every time I take that long break, I come back and don't know what I'm doing. But that just goes to show I just need to do my eyeshadow more and stop being lazy. Bring some color into my life. Alright, so I went into the Ruby Obsessions palette first, and I pretty much just used these two colors, these two matte colors. This one first and this one second. Actually, before I even did that, I went over my eye with my foundation powder. That's usually always my first step. Now I'm going to go into this berry shade in the corner and I'm going to buff that into my crease as my first transition. I always start in the outermost part and then blend the excess into the crease. We want the darkness to concentrate here as opposed to here, you feel me? Now I'm gonna go into this deeper cranberry shade right here, and I'm gonna go directly into the crease with a smaller brush and blend it into the other color. Then I'm gonna take a pencil brush and go into the Amethyst palettes, the purple version of the palette. And I'm gonna go into this deep matte purple shade right here. And I'm pretty much just going to place it in the outer V at a slant and kind of wing it out. Just want this area to be nice and dark, and it still falls in line with the other colors. I already know what I did wrong in this eye, and it's really irritating me right now. This eye blended so much easier. Like, I'm so freaking pissed. And I know exactly why this eye got messed up and all muddied and stuff, and I had to keep going in with color and shadows and trying to fix it. I started this eye off with a completely different brush. It was like a brush that I just saw laying around. I hadn't used it before, and it was a little too coarse. It wasn't soft. It wasn't a really good blending brush for me to start off my transition colors, and it got real choppy, and I couldn't tell if it was the brushes or the shadow. But based on how easier it was, I'm not done blending this eye, but based on how easy it's been to blend these shadows together since I got my different brushes, it just ruined it. Now I'm gonna have to make this eye, I didn't want it to be this dark, but now I'm just gonna have to kind of mimic this eye without making it look muddy and try to unmuddy this eye. But brushes matter, people. Brushes matter. And it's hard to tell you guys what brushes I'm using when I'm using wholesale brushes, because they're not all the same. They can be the same number, but they don't feel the same. So I don't want to say, oh, this brush was better than this brush, because honestly, these two brushes were from the same brand. This one of them is just better. So I'm gonna start trying to find some brands that aren't wholesale. You know, they're not just buying them from a different country and putting their name on it. Wholesale are good, like I said, but they're not always made the exact same way every time. So I know I never really mention my brushes, but that's why. I'm gonna try to group together some of my favorites and share them with you guys, because they can really make a difference when it comes to this blending game. You feel me? So to mute some of this darkness, I'm just gonna go over it lightly with my foundation powder, then add a little more of the berry shade to kind of lighten it up. And I have to make this eye just a little darker, so I'm just gonna add some of that deep purple into the crease and blend it out. Alright, and I'm gonna blend the rest off camera, otherwise I'm just gonna be doing this for about a good 30 minutes. Now I'm going to switch to the lid. I'm using this black Radiance Eye Appeal Lid Glitz in bronze metal. I've been loving these from brands that are coming out with these different dazzle, glit, liquid, shadow tubes, whatever you want to call them. They're so easy to use, they're so quick to use, and they're so pigmented. I like them actually better than like foiled shadows and stuff. Mainly because when they dry, you don't have to worry about transfer. They usually stay put and they're super opaque. But I'm just going to glide this onto my lid area and put it sort of to an angle as I did the purple shadow. You can always use a brush, like put this onto a brush to be more precise, but I would always recommend, like, even if you clean up this like line and the precision with a brush, that you still kind of tap over it with the wand, because the brush just takes away some of that glam, just kind of dulls it out. Gonna slightly go over the transition line with the pencil brush. I didn't want it to be like perfectly blended into each other. I kind of like how they split off like that. Now once this dries, I'm gonna go over it with this MAC Dazzle Shadow in Blinking Brilliance. It's kind of similar to this one, except this one is way more glittery, and I'll show you the difference between these two, because this one's like more like a liquid shadow and this is more like a glitter shadow, if that makes sense. Let me show you. So this is the Black Radiance one. See how it's like really opaque and kind of just like almost like a liquid highlighter. And then the Dazzle Shadow has a lot more glitter in it. But with the Dazzle Shadow one, since there's so much glitter in it, when I was trying to like fill in some of the glitter gaps, it was kind of moving the product around and it was going to create holes, and I just didn't want to deal with that, so I just wanted something under it so that I could just tap it over, you know, just to give it some zhuzh. So I'm going to carefully tap this all over the lid area to make it sparkle. You don't want to layer it too thick, which I kind of did over here, otherwise it'll look like chunky. But now I'm just gonna blend these in a little bit more, and then we're gonna go to the face. Alright, for my face, I'm gonna use this Laura Mercier oil-free foundation primer. I don't think I've used this before, so I saw it and said, let's use it. It might be too much, but before I try out this foundation, I wanted to try out something else. This is called Jelly Beam from Farsali. I believe that's how you say it, Farsali. These have actually been out for a while and I've been meaning to try them, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And I saw it and I said, today is the day. I think they even have one that's more golden than this, but I have no idea where it could be. But this one is called Rose Goals. So I'm gonna put this under my foundation. I usually use a liquid highlighter. I like the one from Lancome, but you know, we're gonna try her today. So I'm gonna brush her. Ooh. Boy, oh boy, I am really overdoing it today, ain't I? I usually just put liquid highlighters under my foundation on my cheeks and like my forehead, nose, and chin area. I don't do it over my whole face. Now I'm gonna go into this foundation I've been wanting to try. It's from Dior. It is called Dior Backstage. It is a face and body foundation, and this one is in the shade 65N. I think this is my shade. I did a test patch this morning and it worked, so. It says to shake first. The concealer I'm going to try today is from IT Cosmetics. It's called Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Waterproof Concealer. This one is in the shade 40.5 Deep. I'm going to do one eye at a time since I don't know how fast this dries. Well, you definitely don't need much of this. I may have actually put too much. It actually spreads a lot. It's pretty thick. I'm gonna use my normal powders to set and bronze because I'm getting, I don't know, I need something to bring me back home. Right now I'm feeling like I'm somewhere else. I need something that feels like home. So I'm gonna use my Sacha Buttercup powder to set my concealer and my CoverGirl Ebony bronzer to bronze. Just when I thought I lost my way, bronzer comes in and saves the day. Hey! Alright, now I'm gonna go over my face with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. For my highlight, I really didn't want to overdo it since my eyes are so like BAM! So I decided to do more of a subtle highlight. So I'm going to use this glow powder from the Becca Chrissy Teigen collab. It's in the shade Cinnamon Sugar, and when I swatched it, it was kind of like it was a glow, but like a really softer glow. This also looks like it would be a good powder for like no makeup days where you just want to soft glow without that really glittery look. This gives you more of like a natural glow. I'm also going to use a blush today because I'm feeling fancy. This is from the NARS Wanted To cheek palette, and I'm going to use a little bit of this one in the bottom corner. Alright, now the rest of the eye is pretty easy. I just got my Urban Decay Perversion 24/7 Glide On eye pencil for my waterline. Then I use a smudger in the light berry matte shade to blend onto my lash line. Then I grab the MAC Dazzle Shadow and I carefully tap this onto the inner corner of the eye. Like I said, you don't want to layer it because it will look thick and kind of clumpy. So I just use very minimal to add some glitter to the inner corners. For my eyeliner, I'm going to use my usual CoverGirl's Matte Black 320 liner. And finally, me going to add my lashes. I'm using Midnight Luxe by House of Lashes. And it is also my first time trying out this NARS Climax mascara. It came out not too long ago, and everyone that I've seen wear it, eyelashes were pretty popping. So thought I'd give it a try. Alright, and now for the lips, I think I'm going to go with an ombre berry look. You know, that might be popping. This is the Ellarie ColourPop lip liner. And this is Fenty Beauty Uncuffed Stunna Lip Paint. I also added a smidge of the Stunna Lip Paint in Unbutton. Alright, so here's the final look. I know I look kind of light because it's gloomy outside and I don't know how to adjust my camera settings for those type of conditions, but I'll have a picture of something for the gram. Just a little recap on some of the new stuff that I used and my first impression on them. For the eyeshadow palettes, I've used Huda Beauty's eyeshadow palettes before and they seem to all be pretty consistent. Great color payoff, great pigmentation, so these are still some of my favorites. For the black Radiance Lid Glitz and the MAC Dazzle Shadows, I like both of these for different reasons. For the Lid Glitz, I really like this. I'm gonna have to try and find some more colors because it's really easy to use. It doesn't seem to transfer into the crease, and you know, it's basically like a liquid shadow, which like I said I like, so definitely would recommend this. For the MAC Dazzle Shadow, like I said, you want to be careful with these, even the liquid shadows, not to overly layer them because they will look clumpy. Even with this one, I didn't put the liquid shadow, the lid glitz right here. I just used this alone. There was nothing underneath, and I still noticed that it was tending to get a little clumped up if I went over it one spot more than once. So if you use these correctly, you will get a great look. Even the areas of my eyes that are pretty clumpy still look kind of good. They kind of look just a little foils. So like all that, the primer, with primers I have to use multiple times. I really can't give a first impression on primers because I have to wear them under different foundations and just, you know, longer periods of time, especially when I am using a whole bunch of new stuff. But I will give it another try because it, you know, didn't seem too shabby. It was on the thinner side compared to some primers that have like that kind of thick sticky feel. So if you prefer that, you might want to try this one out. But like I said, I as far as the wear of it, don't quite have a judgment on that yet. For the Dior foundation, I will give this one another try too. It kind of made me nervous because it's a little bit more liquidy than my normal foundations, but I felt like it gave a nice veil, like it was kind of like skin almost. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a matte finish. I didn't really get matte vibes, but then again, I didn't really let it settle before I went over it. So I'm definitely gonna give this one another try because I liked the coverage of it. It wasn't overly heavy, and it seems like you can build it to get the type of coverage you want. She is so loud. For the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, this is the only one that I don't think works for my preference, just because I'm not really a full coverage type of gal when it comes to my foundation or even my concealer. Like this concealer, I've used full coverage concealers, but this one right here, like I've had people ask me, like I have really dark circles, you know, no concealers seem to work, you know, my dark circles are just really bagalicious. I don't know what to use. What concealer can I use? You might want to try this. Like when I was putting it on, I felt like I was putting on like I don't know. I really can't even describe it. It's thicker. It's definitely full coverage, and you definitely don't need that much, but I think it's too full coverage for me because it's on the thicker side. But if you really have a problem with dark eye circles, I really feel like this one would be great for you, because I could tell that this can cover up like some things. And what else know how to use? I like this mascara. I'm definitely gonna try it without falsies to see if, you know, how they look on my bare lashes, but I really liked how they made my bottom lashes look, and usually that's a good sign for my top lashes. So I'm gonna try this again, but I liked it on my first impression. The NARS blush palette. I'm usually not a fan of blush palettes because I usually can only wear like one in the whole palette, so I usually just stick to individual colors, but I kind of like this palette because I can use at least 3 out of 6, or I like 3 out of 6 personally for my skin type. This orange, this deep cranberry, and this lighter berry color. So I actually like this palette. I'm gonna keep it on my desk because I don't wear blush too often, but when I do, I do. And finally, I think this was the last like new thing that I used, this Becca Chrissy glow powder. I definitely would use this again on my natural days. It gives you a really soft glow. I know this, it probably looks more glowy on camera than it does in person, but in person it really just looks like a really natural, soft, bronzy gold just glow. Just looks like, you know, my skin is just glistening. I'm definitely gonna use this on my no makeup days, because usually on my no makeup days I just have on face powder and I use like a smidge of my normal highlighter choices, but this one I think will look a lot more natural, especially when you're not wearing like sealer, foundation, all that heavy stuff. It gives you a real natural glow. I think that's about it for the new stuff. These Stunner lip paints aren't new. I've used them before, probably not on my channel. They have a great feel to them. I really like them. They're not super dry matte lippies, which you know, a lot of people usually complain about. These ones are more of a soft matte and they still don't transfer. So love my lashes. So overall this look turned out okay. If you guys are feeling it, if you like it, let me know in the comments. If you found something that you think you might want to try, let me know. If there is anything new that I haven't used there yet on my channel that you want me to try, let me know that as well. I do read my comments like I always say. I may not always respond because, you know, I got a lot going on, but I do try to read through them and hear you guys' suggestions and opinions. So make sure you leave comments below and let me know what you guys think and what you guys want to see. But until next time, love you guys. Mwah.